Welcome to Capital Outsider, a show about people and ideas outside the halls of power, exploring alternatives to conventional political wisdom.
Basically, you're talking about government making some hard choices. And I would think that in order to accomplish that, citizens have to make some hard choices and stop asking for government programs to bail them out for the hard choices they have failed to make. What about health care? What needs to be done with regard to health care? It's a hard choice for every individual.
Health care is a hard choice. I have some changes that will push us long-term the right way. Number one, your medical expenses get taxed the same way no matter whether your employer paid for your insurance, you pay for your insurance, or you pay for it out of pocket. Number two, eliminate cost transfers. Now, this is a weird issue, basic issue. You don't have health insurance, you walk into a hospital, you demand treatment, you're legally entitled to get it. Congress passed that law, but they failed to pay for it. Instead, they said everyone with health insurance will pay this hidden tax on their health insurance. Get rid of cost transfers, and we drop the cost of health insurance by a third to half, depending on where you live. Yes, Congress may say, we're America, we're going to give people at least minimal clinic care. That's fine. Put it on budget so you can see it, and put it on budget so people watch how it's being spent. I'm willing to live with, I know a lot of libertarians hate the word compromise. I am willing to live with things that move us in the right direction, even if they aren't perfect, because we can't afford things like that. Oh, last change, allow interstate competition in supplying health insurance. If you live in Jersey and could go across the border to Pennsylvania, if you're a young man, your health insurance cost drops by 2/3. That's not right. That's not reasonable. We should allow interstate competition.
There's hundreds of thousands of hardworking, decent people who are in this country illegally. They're the very type of people that have made this nation great. And your website says that we cannot have open borders and a large-scale welfare system at the same time. I may disagree with you on this. I'm surprised that I saw it, but I think that the focus of our direction should be on the national attitude that has created and continues to think of welfare as some sort of an entitlement, and that we really should address this first because it's a problem that transcends the immigration problem.
I agree that once you deal with welfare, open borders, that's not what we have now. True open borders would be much less of an issue if we didn't have a vast set of entitlements. Schools, free schools for kids who just walk across, you can go down the whole list of entitlements. However, my position is if you just said, we'll have no border security, anyone who wants to come to America can do it, well, the late Chow En-lai had an answer to that. Senator Jackson, the two of them were speaking. We see that we've both agreed on open borders. The first 100 million Chinese will be arriving next week, and we hope to get everyone over here within the year. True open borders are completely unmanageable.
What about the people that are already here and have been here for, say, 10 years and have worked and have a family here and basically a lot of strong ties to the community?
I would be perfectly happy to put people into one line, to become citizens. But this is America. Butting to the front of a line isn't the way Americans behave, and people should understand that. And there are lots of people who have been in line and they've waited patiently in their own countries because they're decent people and they understand that much of America. And I would say those people ought to be entitled to stay in the front of line.
Okay, moving on. I know one of the subjects that you're very keen on and would like to talk about is education.
Okay, number one, we should repeal No Child Left Behind.
Why is that?
Congress has a school district they're responsible for, District of Columbia. It's number one in how expensive it is. Treating as a state, it's number one in how terrible it is. Congress can't run school districts. Their own school district, they shouldn't run ours either. And will ask no child left behind go. Number 2, we should get rid of the Department of Education, or at least 95% of it. Heaven knows what's hidden in there someplace. And number 3, every child in the country should be given a $5,000 tax credit. We'll need a decade to phase that in. That's a very expensive program for educational expenses. We put the tax credit on the child. That means that someone like me, I'm a bachelor, but I'm wealthy, I can go down to Worcester, South Maine and find parents and give them money to support education of their children. We do tax credits all the time. Doesn't matter whether the kids are in private school or homeschool or public school, we give them the same tax credit. This, by the way, is the opposite of the Ron Paul $5,000 tax credit, which goes to the parents, which means it's only any good if you're rich. If you're poor, hey, it's a Republican plan. You don't expect Republicans to help poor people, do you?
What about energy policy and the environment? I know that's another issue that you wanted to make some comments on.
We have a stack of Republican and some Democratic presidential candidates, not the mainline Democrats so much, who claim global warming doesn't exist. Maybe they also claim the Earth is flat. After all, there are a stack of Republicans who don't believe in evolution. Maybe, all sorts of interesting ideas out there. There's no doubt there's global warming. In my opinion, there is little doubt that we will fail to do anything about it, and we are going to live with a warmer world, not that much warmer, and moderately higher sea levels. We can temper that by slowing down how fast we burn non-renewable resources, and my proposal is Uncle Sam should do what he does well, buy things. Specifically, he should say to private industry, we aren't going to do your research, we aren't going to give you loans, but we will offer fixed price, long-term contracts for electricity from new renewable resources. And we'll do that up to all the energy that the government uses. Hey, we're libertarians. We'd like government to shrink, so maybe Uncle Sam won't need as many electrical contracts as we're talking about now. That's fine. But what we're going to say is we'll move that part of the economy over to renewable energy, and that's more than we could actually do in 2 presidential administrations, even if I'm reelected.